Good afternoon, it's Bobby G. Today I want to talk to you about a living doll. That's right, Tippi Hedren from the Birds. I've met Tippi Hedren quite a few times and I have to tell you, she is a lovely, lovely, sweet, sweet woman. So I first tracked her down probably in 1980 and I sent her some pictures like this, cut out from library books, of course. And I've met her at conventions subsequently where she was selling pictures like this. And I actually went to the playground that's featured in the movie in Bodega Bay, and they had a shop there where they sold this picture. They had only one, bought that for $30, signed by both her and Rod Taylor. And I have this great picture. I love this woman in The Birds. This one is signed by Tippi in gold pen, but it's kind of hard to see. But I love this woman here. She was so good. There are 8,650 species of birds. I also have Mitch's mother, of course, Jessica Tandy, and I met Mitch's sister, played by Veronica Cartwright. And I made her sign that part where she says, "Annie, they came and covered her, Annie." I had her write that part out. So yes, I do have the entire cast of The Birds, Tippi and Rod, and I also have this bird. In case anybody wants to buy it, let me know. And by the way, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Tippi and Marnie and her recording career and Melanie Griffith, but this is the point an average viewer goes, red ball. So, for those of you who are still here, Marnie. Marnie was a fantastic, fantastic movie. This book here is so good. I do have it signed by Tippi, of course, but this book is so good about the making of Marnie. And when I wrote to her in 1980, I sent her this cut out from a book, and she said, "Bobby, in gratitude for your perseverance." And I sent it to her because there was a bird's picture on the other side, which she also signed. And then when I met her, I had her sign this picture of her and Sean Connery, which is really good. She was so sweet in person. She has magnetic, incredible, great eyes. Also, if you haven't read the book, Marnie, you should, because the story is cuckoo, cuckoo. So when I first found her, it was in 1980. That's right, when I first found her, it was in 1980, and I got this back in the mail, and I was like, oh my God, now I can send Tippi Hedren all those pictures that I have of her. And my chosen picture to send her was this one, which I love so much, and apparently she does too, because she used it on the cover of her memoir, which, of course, you know Bobby G has signed. And by the way, you should read her memoir, which is really, really good and detailed. But when I wrote to her, this is where the Carol Baskin part comes in. She also runs an animal sanctuary for big cats called Shambhala. And she said, "Bobby, watch for Roar." That was a movie that she was filming where she got badly, badly hurt. And here she is, feeding a baby liger. I think she was one of the first people to have a liger. But she wrote a book called The Cats of Shambhala. Now, the interesting thing about her, she was pre-Carol Baskin, much sweeter and nicer and kinder than Carol Baskin, of course. But she was one of the first people to save all of the big cats and run that sanctuary. So good for her. I also sent her this really rare picture, which she said, "Can I have a copy?" Of her and her daughter, Melanie Griffith. Look at that picture from way back in the day. Now, keep in mind that Tippi started her career as a model. So when I met her, I had her sign modeling pictures as well, because when I first met her, it was at Macy's. She was promoting a line of cat pins or something by an artist named Laurel something or another at Macy's in San Francisco, which was literally right around the corner from the Maiden Lane pet store where she filmed the buying of the lovebirds in Birds. Very interesting. She also had a very brief singing career. That's right, Tippi Hedren has a single, "If I Were a Carpenter." If I Were a Carpenter, backed with "My Life Without You" by Tippi Hedren. And when I met her, I also said, "Hey, when you were modeling, I found this album of when you were modeling." I said, "Do you have this?" And she said, "No, I don't." And I said, "Don't you have a room with all of your collectibles and memorabilia?" She said, "Yeah, I do." And I gave her a copy and I said, "Here you go, add this to your collectibles." So, there you go. It's the Birds, I tell you. Bobby G with a little Tippi Hedren story, wishing you all the best. Take care. Have a good day.